I hope very good morning to one and all present in the session. I hope I am loud and clear, and I hope you can hear my voice clearly. Uh, any one of you just can confirm whether I am audible or not. Am I audible, Ankit?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, as Ankit has pointed out, that this research and development is one of the 8 thematic area of NEP 2020. So I'll be elaborating on in particular, that is what is academic integrity and what are I should say the professional ethics or the research ethics. Okay, so maybe next 90 minutes we will have some discussion on all these aspects. Okay, and I would love to interact if you can unmute yourself, maybe in between or maybe at the end of the session, right? As per your convenience, I should say, right? So with this brief note, I'll start my deliberation. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you. Okay, so there we are. Around 47 participants are there. Anyway, so we will start with the uh, discussion, as I said, that is, I hope my slides are visible to you.
Yes, sir. Slides are visible. If it is possible, sir, kindly make it the PowerPoint mode.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
Yes.
That is what I am doing right now. Right, I am having trouble with regard to the, yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it now. If I can switch off my camera, will it be okay? I don't know why I'm not. Yeah. So there we are. I hope it is in PowerPoint mode and the slides are visible to you, right? So once again, I wish you all a very good morning. Okay, and the topic which has been assigned to me is basically academic integrity in research and publication ethics, right? So we will have a, I should say, in-depth discussion on all the aspects of research, particularly when it comes to publication, that is research and publications, right? So the uh, some introduction about academic integrity, that is, we'll have, I should say, some bookish definition of integrity and so on. And gradually we'll move ahead with that background. Uh, why do we require academic integrity? That is what in while going ahead with publication whenever it comes to research, right? So what is duplicate publication? What is authorship and order? What is scientific misconduct? Okay, what we call it as in general as fraud and plagiarism, different types of plagiarism. Okay, that is how to avoid plagiarism and so on. And what is fabrication or falsification of academic data? And we will conclude our discussion with a topic called conflict of interest. So this is one of the actually emerging areas. Okay, and this is growing. I should say the problems related with conflict of interest are growing day by day. So that's why I feel that it is necessary to have some discussion on COI. And at the end, we will conclude our session with various organizations working in this area. That is what is SCOPE, WAME, ICMJE, IEEE Code of Ethics, and so on. Right. So this is what is I have planned for next 90 minutes. Okay, and as I said, that is we'll start with what is what is academic integrity, right? So I would love to interact on this aspect. That is, any one of you, let's say, if I toss this term, what is your perception about academic integrity? If you can unmute yourself and you can come up with the answer, I will be happy. Okay. Otherwise, definitely I'll cover in my deliberation. But any one of you, let's say, if you can come up with the understanding, whatever understanding you have with regard to academic integrity, I'll be happy to listen. So integrity means what in general? We will have academic later on. Okay, but in general, what do you feel? What integrity means? Any one of you?
Uh, it's related with the honesty, fairness,
Great,
or the responsibility, we can say.
great, great, great. May I know who is talking?
My name is Nilesh Nagrale.
Okay. Well, Nilesh, you have rightly said that whenever we talk about integrity, integrity is nothing but the honesty, right? Honesty in doing anything, right? Whatever, whether if you are working for a particular organization, okay, the very first thing they expect, whether you are in a corporate world or you are in academic world or you are working wherever you are working. So they expect honesty from the workers, right? So to put it in simple word, right, integrity is nothing but the honesty, okay? And to put it in a, you can say the bookish language, it is the quality of being honest. It is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. So even if your boss is compelling you, कि भाई you compromise on this particular aspect, okay, you will come up with the answer. Sorry, sir, I feel that this is not correct, and I'm sorry for that, right? So if you have that kind of attitude, okay, if you are honest to your profession or the work, whatever you are doing, okay, it is said that you are a person of highest integrity. Okay, so that's why in our, mm, I should say, the performance appraisal or confidential report, this particular thing has been given a lot of importance. There is a special paragraph wherein it is expected that you should be evaluated based on your integrity. Integrity and character, these two things, once again, they go hand in hand, right? So to put it in simple words, it is nothing but the honesty, being honest, okay, or having strong moral principles that you refuse to change, right? That is nothing but the, you can say, the bottom line of integrity. And when you put academic in front of it, meaning thereby whenever you are doing any academic activity, maybe it is teaching, learning, or research and development, okay, how honest you are, that is nothing but the academic integrity, right? So before having said that, before starting our actual deliberation, okay, we need to understand why do we write. Okay, we will be talking, we will be focusing on, that is, we make certain compromises while publishing our work, rather reporting our work to the research community. But for that purpose, definitely you have to write. But the very first question which comes to your mind is, why do we write? What are the reasons? Okay, so there may be n number of reasons, certain reasons. This is not a, I should say, exhaustive list. Okay, certain reasons I have identified, and we will start our discussion from that point onwards. That is, why do we write? The very obvious reason for writing is conveying the information. Okay, you want to convey some information to the rest of the world, you are supposed to write. Okay, or you may be writing for expressing your thoughts. Okay, let's say recently the elections took place in our state. Okay, so you may come up with your own views about how the election process was, right, and how it was held, and then how the results were declared, and so on, maybe whatever. So for expressing your thoughts, again, one has to write. You may be writing for completing an assignment. Let's say you are undergoing this particular course, and at the end of the course, okay, your coordinator expect you to submit an assignment. Okay, again, in that case, again, you will be compelled to write. Okay, maybe some multiple choice question, or maybe some short answer type questions, and so on. Okay, so we write for completing an assignment. Student mostly write for completing an assignment, for publishing our work. Okay, for getting recognition in the research community, we publish our work. Okay, we publish our work in quality journals, highly index journals. Okay, that is not the area we'll be digging at present. Okay, because that is altogether a different thing. But for publishing our work or making it, you can say, your presence in the research community, we may write. Okay, many times we write for fetching grants. Let's say you want to carry out research. Okay, in that case, again, you approach some funding agency, maybe UGC, DST, or AICT, or whatnot for that purpose. Okay, and for that purpose, again, one has to write. Okay, submit for grants. Okay, you write a research proposal, RFP, and you seek some fund from the funding agency. Many times, those who are from in our group, actually, we don't have anybody from arts and other discipline. Okay, the people from arts, they write for becoming famous in their domain. Okay, that poets and so on, right? So again, there is some need. Okay, so organize our thoughts. Okay, certain last three things are, I should say, uh, you can take it in the way in which they are. That is organizing your thoughts. Many times you write. Many times you write for remembering your thoughts. Okay. Many times we write for maintaining the historical record. There are people, okay, those who have writing habits of diary daily. Okay. So whatever activity they carry out in the entire day, they used to note it down somewhere. Okay. And they maintain it. Okay. So for uh, very many reasons, okay, one has to write. Okay. But if you look at your curriculum, okay, your institution is an autonomous institution. I don't know whether you are taking care of this aspect, whether you have ever been taught that is how to write. The answer is a big no. Okay, we don't have any course wherein you have been explicitly trained, that is, this is how you have to write. Okay, for writing a technical report, submitting a synopsis, or submitting a summary report, or maybe you are a dissertation. Okay, you are never ever, I should say, I am making a bold statement, I very well understand, but normally we are very casual about this. As a matter of fact, writing is an art, right? Writing is not that simple. Okay, so it is necessary that you must know that is how to write. Okay, but we are never ever trained in that domain, and that's why what happens, we commit mistakes while writing, right? Since you are not trained, okay, you are committing mistake. Okay, so these are the obvious reason why do we write as an academician, I should say, more specifically, right? So let us move further with what is the need. If you remember, the second topic on the agenda was the need of academic integrity. Now, why this particular topic, academic integrity in particular, it has gained importance in the recent past. Okay, there are reasons to it. Okay, and that is not, I will not say that that locally it has crop up as a major area. Okay, rather internationally it has crop up as an area. Okay, now if you look at the example, okay, if you look at this particular slide, okay, which I have taken up from this power by orange.com, right? So these are the 5 international, I should say, cases which have been reported worldwide, and they were discussed, and they have created a lot of, I think, turbulence for the people they were involved, because the names were very big. Okay, look at the very first example, wherein you will just understand that it is a speech made by Melania Trump versus Michelle Obama, right? Melania Trump has been accused of plagiarism for a speech she made at the Republican National Convention 2016. Okay, and that has led to lot of controversies, I should say, right? If you look at Harry Potter, okay, which is again a well-known name when it comes to literary work, okay, and the Goblet of Fire, it was again, there were, I'm not saying that what is wrong. Our intention is not to dig whether it is whatever has been reported, it is correct or not. Okay, the Western world is very developed. Okay, if they commit some mistake, they openly, publicly, they accept, well, I have committed this mistake and I apologize for that. But if you look at these things, my intention is to to simply emphasize why this particular thing is very much important. What is the need of academic integrity, right? So if you explore these things in a greater detail, you will find that this is of utmost importance, right? The Lord of Rings series by J.J.R. Tolkien, right? The Game of Pong, and the last one is the Vinci Code written by Dan Brown, and so on. So these are five. I should say I'm not claiming that these are the only five, but this is indicative five list, okay, which has a greater impact on the world community to take this particular issue a little bit seriously. Now, we are not the exception. I mean to say, as a nation, we are not the exception. If you look at the national scenario in our country, again, there were cases like these are the five famous plagiarism cases in India. The source is again copyleaks.com, right? So, five plagiarism article on Indian Foundation website that has been reported, okay, wherein big names like MJ Akbar, Nirmala Sitharaman, right, Swapna Das Gupta, and others, they were. I'm again with due respect to all of them because these are all great personalities, right? But these cases were there, okay, and these cases were there, and there were controversies with regard to that. Whether they were correct or not, that is none of our business to explore at this point of time. The another case was chemistry professor accused of plagiarizing more than 70 articles, right? Sri Venkateswara University, right? Kavya Vishwanathan, right, was accused of plagiarism for her debut novel. Her debut novel itself, it comes into controversies, right? Stanford University wrote to late President APJ Abdul Kalam about Professor Rajput plagiarism. So plagiarism accusation against, you can say, Gurunathan and his group, that has again led to some controversies. So what has happened? What I intend to emphasize here is that is during 2007 to 11 in our country, we have reported highest plagiarism cases. Rather, the rate was the highest, and that has compelled to the fund to I should say the nodal agencies like UGC, AICTs, or other regulating agencies to take this particular issue little bit seriously. Okay, so I hope at least the concept what we have started with, that is what is integrity and what is the need of integrity. I hope it is clear to you, and let us move ahead with the another important aspect. Okay, is which I am about to deal with is research and publication ethics. Okay, research and publication. We will confine ourselves to undoubtedly research and development, but we will try to understand what is the, you can say, the underlying philosophy behind all these things, right? Unless and until you understand the philosophy, you will not be able to adopt the rest of the things, right? That's why I'm putting some slides. Okay, you may feel, some of you may feel, sir, this is little bit irrelevant, but this is completely relevant, I'll say, right? So just like on integrity, I have posed a question, okay, and somebody has answered that, sir, it is nothing but the honesty. On the parallel line, let's say if we talk about ethics, so what is your perception about ethics? Any one of you can unmute yourself and come up with the answer. I know it is uh, any one of you, any one of you. I hope you have the control to unmute yourself. And are you with me, first of all? Anyway, anybody wish to come up with the answer with regard to ethics? What
Ethics,
are ethics?
sir, according to me, like what I feel that how that particular person is good uh, with the society or the people who is around him, and whatever the individual is following the one of the philosophy while treating the other people which is in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I feel about the ethics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Up to some extent, very much correct. Okay, but what we will do, we will just try to digest this concept with the help of a pretty simple example. Okay, I'll put up on the slide. Okay, that is, let's say you are on a morning or a evening walk. Okay, and you found some money lying on the street. Okay, some money. I'm saying some money lying on the street. What you will do as an individual? Whether you will there are four possibilities which I am putting here. Whether you will leave it as it is, you will pick it up and spend it, or you will pick it up and give it to charity, or you will do something else. Which one you will pick? I don't know who was talking, but any one of you, all of you are free to pick any option. Okay. And one more thing I would like to clear here, that is there is nothing wrong. All the four options are correct. So
So I will go with the second option,
having
I
said
guess.
that, yes. Okay, you will go with the pick it up and spend it. Okay. So you are honest to yourself. All right. Anyway, so I don't know what's your name, sir.
My name is Nilesh Nagral.
Okay, Nilesh.
Nilesh
Again,
Nagral.
Nilesh is there. Nilesh, Nilesh Nagrali sir is the only active participant, I should say, in the session. Anyway, so he said that he will pick it up and spend it. Okay, but any other answers, whether you will leave it as it is, some madam must be there. Okay, she will say, okay, bhai, sir, it's better to leave it as it is. Or any third option, like say, pick it up and give it to charity, or maybe something else. Okay. So, I feel that personally that most of us, okay, I hope my voice is clear to you. I am having some messages on my screen with regard to the internet connectivity, but I hope it is going on smoothly, right? So, most of us, we will say that pick it up and give it to charity, right? Because the philosophy behind picking it up and giving it to charity is it is relying on the fact, since the money doesn't belong to us, okay, there is no fun picking it up and spending it. But I think Nagrale sir must have given the answer a little bit on a lighter note, right? So as to, but Nagrale sir, do you still agree that you will go ahead with pick it up and spend it kind of option?
Yeah, I will look for the people first and then go with that
Okay,
option.
you will look around and you'll just try to find out whether
Uh,
somebody, the real owner of that money, is there or not. I will
yes,
make the
yes.
problem a little bit more complex. Okay, nobody has asked me, ki, sir, my answer will depend upon the amount of money. I was expecting something like that. Anyway, so let's say if the amount of money is 1 crore, what you will do? And let's say if the amount of money is 100 rupees note or 200 rupees note. Nowadays, we are having 200 rupees note. That is after this new regime has come up, right? So let's say if it is a 200 rupees note, what you will do? And let's say if it is a bag full of 500 notes amounting 1 CR. Now, what will be your answer? Anybody else who wish to reply this? So some of you may come up with the answer, okay, sir, what we will do, we will either pick it up and give it to charity, or something else is again, some of you may come up with the answer, okay, sir, we will, since the money is not ours, we will pick it up and we will find out the nearest police station and surrender that amount, surrender that back, so that the real owner can collect that money. Okay, that is again the rare possibility. Okay, looking at the present scenario, but this is what we do. What I intend to say is, ethics means what, right? So your ethical behavior is basically based on in what value system you are grown up with, right? So it is the you can say the human value system. Okay, and let's say if I make it little bit more complex, that is the same scenario. Let's say you are hungry since last 4 5 days, okay, or 8 days, for the sake of example, and you found 200 rupees note. Okay, what you will do? Nothing will come to your mind. You will pick it up that note and just try to locate the nearest restaurant. Okay, and have your lunch, dinner, or breakfast, depending upon the time. Okay. So that's why I said ki all the answers are correct. Okay. In the beginning, I have told you that there is nothing wrong. Okay. It all depends upon uh, numerous factors, I should say, numerous factors. So what are those factors which will determine your ethical behavior? So ethical behavior depends on many factors. The very first thing, as I said, is the individual, how you are grown up with. Okay. What kind of environment you are grown up with. What are the circumstances? As I said that you were hungry since last 8 days, then in that case, no ethics, nothing will come to your mind, right? What you will do, you will pick it up. And the person, let's say, if I am the owner of, real owner of that money, okay, I visit that place and I came to know that you have picked it up and had your lunch. And when somebody says, okay, he was hungry, sir, since last 8 days, nobody will object. Okay. Even the owner will say, it's all right. Okay. You had your lunch now. All right. No problem. Be happy. Okay. And the third one is the moral intensity with the situation. Right. Now I'm tossing a new term, what is called as morality. Right. So what are ethics? What are moral? And so on. That is what we need to understand in a greater detail. Okay. So for understanding these things, we will just try to digest the underlying philosophy of these things. Right. That is what is ethics, what is moral, and so on. So there are broadly, there are two theories, I will say. There are two theories of ethics. One theory talks about the absolutism theory, and the second theory talks about the relativism theory. Right. So absolutism meaning thereby one set of moral rules and rules are common to all. What does this mean? Whether you are a prime minister of India or an ordinary citizen, okay, this you need to comply with the same rules. Okay, there is no special rules for the prime minister of India or maybe chief minister of the Maharashtra state and so on. Rules are rules of absolutism theory talks about one set of rules, and these rules are common to all, irrespective of your position. Okay, rules unlikely to change; they will remain constant. And this kind of theory, when you follow absolutism theory, the person who adopt this particular theory, they are called as the dogmatic person. Right. Now, we'll just have a look at this dogmatic in a greater detail. So dogmatic is basically, it is comprised of three words: dog, mat, and ink. Right. So if you claim yourself to be a dogmatic person, meaning thereby you claim that you are always right, and the other person, whatever he or she is saying, he is always wrong. Right. And the dogmatic person, whenever you say dogmatism, okay, you feel that you are always right, as I said, and the other person is always wrong. So rather, arguing with a dogmatic person is simply useless. I will put it in a straightforward manner. Okay, many times we have these kind of characters in our nearby. Okay, and that's why we say, yeah, there is no fun with arguing this fellow. Okay, in the day shining day, 11 a.m. or 12 noon, he is saying this is night. Okay, you have to accept and you have to say that it is night. Thank you. Okay. So there is no fun in arguing with a dogmatic person. And the absolutism theory, it basically relies on absolute truth exists. Okay, absolute truth exists. Whereas if you look at the right hand side, you will find that we as a I should say the persons from the professional education or technical education in particular, we follow this relativism theory in our practice. So you have many acceptable set of rules. Rules can change over time. Okay, and you have an approach, what they call it as a pragmatic approach. Now, pragmatic approach is to put it in very simple, straightforward. What is it? It is nothing but the practical approach. Okay, and there is no absolute truth. Okay, there is no absolute truth. So, pragmatism basically talks about, you can say, dogmatism को अगर आप हिंदी में बोले तो कट्टरवाद. Okay, dogmatic. Okay. Whereas pragmatic is altogether different. Okay, and that's why if you look at that's why I said okay, we have certain set of acceptable rules as on date, okay, and those rules can change over time. So if you look at the university functionary, okay, you will find that there are directions, and those directions are repealed by the another set of directions, okay, and the effect of those direction, again, this is a continuous process, okay, because it is need based basically, okay. If you look at the functioning of even UGC or any regulating body, they come up with different regulation. Why? So because the idea is earlier there were compulsions to have this much infrastructure, this many sizes of classrooms. Now they have been reduced to, because they realize now this is an era wherein some 20 or 40% will be online courses. So why do we require so much infra, right? So though you have a set of rules, and rules can change over time, and you adopt a approach which is pragmatic, which is, I should say, more realistic, and which is very closer to your real life. Okay. Now, I'll once again will go to the, having said this, the theory of absolutism and theory of relativism. We will just try to understand what is the exact difference between, I should say, the ethics and moral. Now, uh, any one of you, whether you are in a position to interact on this particular thing, that is what you will call as ethics and what you will call it as moral. Ethics is basically, it is derived from a Greek word called ethos. Okay, okay, which means character. It is ethos, and which means nothing but the character, right? So what does this mean? It is what is good or what is bad. Okay, and I'm tossing a statement. You have to say whether it is correct or not. So ethics will change as per situation. True or false? Any one of you? I don't know how many of you are with me, but anyway. So do you agree with me that ethics will change as per the situation? If you look at the example which I have cited, okay, in the earlier discussion, okay, you can very well understand that your ethical behavior changes with respect to the situation. So that's why I'm making a statement, that is, ethics can change as per the situation. But what about moral? What about moral? Moral is basically, it is derived from a Latin word, stands for MOS, meaning thereby means or ways, okay, to achieve certain things. So what is right or duties and obligation as a citizen, okay? So you can claim that the moral will never change. Okay, moral will never ever change. Okay, morality will remain constant. Okay, it will never ever change. Now, I'll go a little further. Whether there is anything like which is rather more closer to your absolutism theory. Do we really have absolutism theory in real life scenarios? The answer is the answer is yes, it is. It is very much there, but it is when it comes to your religion, or when it comes to there, you will never ever question why it is so, right? Because you have that belief. You believe that absolute truth exists. You believe that the God Almighty's existence is very much there, and that's why since you believe, okay, your beliefs are so strong. So absolutism theory is basically with regard to, I should say, religious issues, okay, wherein nobody will argue. Moment you start arguing a particular aspect, okay, meaning thereby you don't have belief in that particular thing, right? Once you don't have belief, then there are numerous possibilities. Okay, it is taking you towards atheism and so on, right? So we'll not go into that discussion. But I hope at least the theory of absolutism and relativism, and the difference between, there is a thin demarcation line between ethics and moral, that is clear to you. Right. Now, having said that, let us move ahead with our original discussion. Right. This is what, so this was, I should say, the little bit the background I have tried to clear the air, I should say. Okay, so that you can understand what ethics, morals, and all these things are all about, right? So why do ethical issue arise in publication? Now let us go to your academic integrity and academic publication. Whenever you write papers or write proposal for fetching grants and so on, right? Again, there are reasons why we compromise, why these ethical issues are there in case of publication particular. So again, there are numerous reasons to it. Maybe journal exists to enhance the scientific database. Okay, their indexing and all that all depends upon the number of papers published and so on. Enhance seniority when it comes to you as an individual, or I as an individual, I as an academician. Okay, everybody of us, we are after seniority and promotions, and you have n number of requirements in your API wherein they ask for you must have minimum one SCI index journal for becoming a professor, right? So that's why you rush for those things. Okay, and when it comes to, you can say, the journal side, for them it is a business, it is a business model, it is their profit. Okay, publishers profit, naturally the company's profit ultimately, right? And that's why these issues have arise in I should say academic publication in particular, right? Having said that, uh, I think I have tried to clear that is how it has started, why it has started, what is the need. Okay, and then while concluding, I said that our regulatory agencies, they felt the importance of academic integrity, so they have come up with some notification in this regard, right? And being a teacher, right, being a teacher or student or a research scholar, we should know what this is, right? Now, at academic integrity, the UGC felt that it is necessary to define it. So they have come up with a beautiful notification in this regard. They have come up with a notification number so and so, right, which is there on your screen, dated 23rd July 2018, wherein they have categorically defined what is academic integrity. Now we will just try to understand this. Academic integrity is the intellectual honesty. Now, when we have started, but with the word called honesty, simple honesty. But since we are talking about the academic integrity, okay, it is the intellectual honesty in proposing, performing, and reporting any activity which leads to the creation of intellectual property, right? Which leads to the creation of intellectual property. Now, under intellectual properties, you have very many things. Like, it is not merely the paper, research paper you are writing. It may be a patent, maybe a, you can say, design patent, or you can say copyright, right? And so on and so forth. So, which leads to the creation of intellectual property. So, intellectual property, you have all those things, okay, which you are well acquainted with, right? So, it is the intellectual honesty in not only writing, in proposing. Okay, you are stealing the idea. Maybe you are writing in your own words, but you are claiming that it is your own idea, whereas that idea is somebody else, right? You are, while you are carrying out experimentation, you are not reporting the result appropriately. That will come under academic, that will come under compromising academic integrity. Performing and reporting an activity which leads to the creation of intellectual property, right? But having said that, why do we compromise integrity? Again, there has to be some reason. Okay, why do people compromise integrity? The obvious reason is either publish or perish. Okay, this is what your generation, rather, we all are experiencing. Okay, either you publish or you perish. Okay, for getting the PhD degree, you have to have one Scoopers or SCI index or whatever. That depends upon the, you can say, the university you are registered with. Okay, so publish or perish. It is linked with your promotion, selection, appointments. Okay, if you want to directly become professor, okay, you have to have a minimum API square of 110 with 5 SCI index journal publication. That is there. That is the criteria, right? So that's why people compromise integrity, right, for becoming famous, obviously. And there are few countries wherein they get the monetary rewards. For example, China. Okay, China, they give money to the people, those who write quality papers. Okay, and that's why you will find a lot of Chinese, particularly in emerging areas. Okay, so monetary rewards are again there. Okay, since it is linked with your bread and butter, since it is linked with your promotion, since it is linked with your selection and appointment, okay, we compromise integrity, right? We compromise academic integrity. Now, what are the various types of academic integrity? We'll have a look at, right? very first thing is republishing the same finding. Republishing as it is, maybe paraphrasing it, okay, making little bit changes, little bit alteration, okay, sequencing and whatnot, submitting the same manuscript to 2 or more journals at once. Okay, that is again under, I should say, academic, sorry, duplicate publication. Dividing one research paper into many little papers. Okay, you have only one idea. What do we do most of the time? Okay, one particular paper we report the literature review, second paper we report the, you can say, the block schematic, third paper we come up with the some result sort of thing. Okay, so in one case you say design, the second case you say implementation, and you can say the results and so on. So basically the idea remains same. So right, that comes under, because why we are after numbers. Okay, we have to have 2 or 3 papers for getting a in the APIs, right? So for that purpose, we many times compromise this, and that is called as the duplicate publication, right? Now, what is authorship? Again, who should be the author? It is again very important to understand. Okay, so author includes a student or a faculty, okay, or a researcher or staff. This is not I am saying, right? This is what the UGC says, right? So, or staff of higher education institutions who claim to be the creator of the work under consideration. Okay. So, what does this mean? You have to have some substantial contribution to the conception and design of a paper, or acquisition of data, or analysis, or interpretation of data. So if you are not contributing in any of these parameters, you cannot claim yourself to be an author of a particular thing. So see here what happens many times. Okay, we compromise even if we don't contribute. Okay, just because of the position we enjoy. Okay, we claim to be an author of the article, but that is highly dangerous. Okay, because at the same time, when it comes to some action on the author, let's say if your student has, you can say, compromised certain things, and he or she is submitting an article, okay, and so what the publisher will do, they will fire immediately an email, wherein you will be informed that you are listed as one of the co-author of this article. Okay, if you are not, okay, they expect you need to reply within a stipulated amount of time, but if you do not respond, then you are supposed to be an author. So if that fellow is penalized, you will be penalized equally, right? So that's why it is with due respect, I am saying you that is authorship is not that easy, right? It is both ways. Okay, when it comes to claiming the publication, okay, you claim to be an author. Okay, when it comes to the penalty, you will say, okay, sir, I am the seventh author, I should get 1/7 penalty. It is not like that, right? So drafting an article or revisiting it critically for important intellectual content and final approval of the version to be published. So you must contribute substantially, then and then you can claim to be an author, right? So this stuff, actually, this definition and all I have taken up from icmj.org. We will have a discussion on that. What about the authorship order? Authorship order, again, discuss the author. Who should be the first author? Most of the time when it comes to research, okay, the candidate who is actually carrying out the research, he or she should be the first author. Then the supervisor, if there are any co-supervisor, then third position, and so on and so forth, right? So discuss the author of, discuss the order of authorship at the beginning. Revise decision on authorship during the write-up process if required. If you need to make it certain changes, okay, you can do it. Okay, during the process, all authors take the responsibility. That is what I was talking about, right? So it is not merely getting the credential when it is published in a reputed journal. Okay, the other way around, again, you have to owe the responsibility, right? So the authors take the responsibility for the content in the manuscript. Disclose if any third parties, this is again very important, is involved in the writing. Okay, you can very well take help of, I should say, professional writers. But nowadays, even if, let's say, you can take for that purpose the help of chat GPT. Okay, that is allowed, but you need to categorically mention that this is how, for this particular purpose, maybe for grammars, right? Maybe, but for idea you cannot take it, right? For idea you cannot take it, right? So up to some limited functionality, you can very well use all those tools. Nowadays, you are equipped with a lot of tools for research and so on. Okay. So you can very well make use of it, but if you disclose it in the beginning, that is for this particular purpose you have used, because English is a foreign language for us, right? We may not be very fluent in English, right? So it may happen that for checking grammars, you may take help of certain tools. There's nothing wrong in that, but you should categorically mention it, right? Authorship order, right? What is scientific misconduct? Again, there are two categories here. One is the fabrication, and the second one is the falsification. A little bit different. So fabrication means making up the data or result and reporting them. So making up, many times I used to say that cooking up the data. Many times what do? We manipulate them in such a way that we get the desired result or the intended results. Okay, that comes under fabrication. That is again, that comes under scientific misconduct. Okay, it is expected that whatever results you are getting for during the experimentation, you should report it as it is. What is falsification? Manipulating research material, equipment or processes, or changing or omitting data or results with the intent to change the outcome. That is again scientific misconduct, right? We must avoid all these, right, while doing research, right? Third category, which is very commonly and popularly, rather we are all acquainted with, is the scientific misconduct, is the plagiarism, right? When somebody presents works of another person's idea, processes, result or words as if they were his oblique her own without proper acknowledgement, that comes under plagiarism. Nowadays you have flag tools and so on, right? So you can very well check what is the similarity index of a particular document, okay, and accordingly you can decide. So UGC has again come up with certain guidelines in this regard that we'll see in the slides to come. Okay, but before that, we need to understand what are the types of plagiarism. So it is not basically copying and pasting. Okay, now if you look at the definition of plagiarism, we are talking about another person's ideas. The very first thing is the idea, then the processes, then the results, and then the words. The last one is the words. So there are, based on this, there are four distinct type of plagiarism. One is the ideas, second is the sources, third is the authorship, and fourth is the word, which is the most common one, is the verbatim or word for word plagiarism. Okay, wherein you copy and paste. Okay, so ideas, you are stealing the idea of somebody else, which has already been reported in the research community. You are claiming that it is your own idea. While citing the references, what you are doing, you are hiding the original sources and you are misguiding the audience to refer something else. What is the ultimate intention? Ultimate intention is you want to hide from where you have taken up that particular stuff, right? So that again comes under plagiarism. Authorship. Okay. Plagiarism or authorship occurs when one claims authorship on entire work without actually fulfilling the criteria for authorship. And what is the criteria of authorship that we have seen already, right? So authorship, but meaning thereby you must contribute substantially. If you are not contributing substantially, definitely you will be in trouble, right? Is one more category which has come up in the recent past, and that is what they call it as the self-plagiarism. Now, this is a little bit controversial, I will say. Some of the people, they feel that self-plagiarism should be allowed. Self-plagiarism is basically your own paper you are referring to, and you are putting the same stuff again and again, right? So it is a type of plagiarism in which the writer republishes work in its entirety or reuses portion of previously written text while authoring a new work. Now, since I have been compelled to write 3 papers in an academic year, okay, I have only one idea. What I'll do, the last year, whatever idea I have used, same idea I'll put it up, okay, in some different context. Okay, so it includes republishing the same paper already published elsewhere, publishing a small scripted paper from a longer previous without due and full citation. So you are not properly acknowledging it. You are not putting the citation, reusing data already used in a published work and so on, right? So this is self-plagiarism. Okay, let's say if you are writing a thesis, okay, in that case, it happens very commonly. That is, you publish certain work, okay, and then when you write thesis, it may happen because you have already got credit for the publication. So ideally, what has to be there is you must get the PhD degree first, then you should go for the publication, right? Then and then, because ultimately you will be referring to all those. So you become you are exposed to tremendous difficulties when you write your thesis. Okay, because the idea is same. Okay, and that's why many times it leads to controversies wherein the reviewer of your thesis, they come up with a remark. Okay, the around 20% of the portion is under self plagiarism, right? So that's why I said, and many of the reviewer feel that it should be allowed because ultimately the same fellow has written it. Okay, so that's why I said that it is debatable. But self plagiarism, breaking up longer and larger study into smaller section, that is again slimy slicing, if you remember. Okay, this is as per UGC guideline I am seeing. UGC notice dated 20th April 2020. If you look at the bottom line, okay, you will understand. So paraphrasing one's own previously published work without due and full citation of the original. So we hide that particular stuff and we report a new paper. Rather, we claim as if it is a completely new paper. So that is under self plagiarism, right? There are again two more categories. One is the unintentional and the intentional plagiarism. Unintentional plagiarism, paraphrasing poorly. Okay, changing the sentence structure but not the words, or changing few words without changing the structure. So this is again very common, unintentional. Okay, but this is a little bit allowed. Quoting poorly by, let's say, if you want to write down the definition of a particular concept, okay, you can copy it. The only thing you need to do is you need to double quote. You need to put it in double quotation marks. So when you include that stuff in double quotation marks, it will be excluded from plagiarism, right? Plagiarism tool will never ever recognize it as a plag content, right? Citing poorly, that is omitting an occasional citation or citing inaccurately, right? That is again unintentional plagiarism, right? What is intentional plagiarism? Passing off one's own pre-written papers from the internet or other sources, copying an essay from the internet as it is, or cutting and paste, right? Control C, Control V, right? From more than one sources to create a paper without quoting or giving credit. Okay, so this is dangerous. Intentional plagiarism, wherein your intentions are clear, and you, if let's say if you have been accused of intentional plagiarism, the penalties are dangerous, I will say. I'll come to that slide, right? So what is excluded from plagiarism? There are certain things which are excluded from plagiarism. All quoted work, as I have told you just now, that is double quotation mark, whatever you write. So double quote, and you write 100 pages, doesn't matter, it will be excluded. All references, bibliography, table of content. That's why when you submit your thesis for flag check, okay, they ask you to remove this thing from your thesis. Okay, all references, bibliography, all generic terms, laws, standard symbols, and standard equation. Okay, so maybe phi, zeta, theta, g. Okay, all the laws, Newton's laws, or whatever for that purpose. Common language or coincidental terms. Now, common language up to 14 consecutive words. Okay, there is a limit. If you go beyond 14, it will be considered as a flag content, right? Common language means well-established fact, maybe a code, okay, figure or information that is known to the most of the people. Okay, that is the all these stuff is excluded from plagiarism. Okay, this is not, once again, I am not saying this. This is what is being categorically defined by UGC, 23rd July 2018. Same notification I am talking. Right. So, what are the penalties? Let's say if you are caught, right, uh, committing some compromises, okay, while publishing your work. So as I said that there are flag tools, okay, whenever you go for publication, normally they check for plagiarism, the very first thing, that is the primary criteria, okay. And let's say if the similarity index is up to 10%, in that case, there are no penalties. That is up to 10% is permissible. From 10 to 40%, such student, this is I am talking about with regard to research students. So I hope few research students are again there in the session. Okay, they need to note it down. Right, 10 to 40%, such students shall be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time period, not exceeding 6 months. Okay, level 2, 40 to 60 for a period of 1 year. Student shall be debarred, okay, from submitting a revised manuscript. So it may take your one complete academic year. It is very serious, right? Level 3, 60% above, such student registration for that program shall be cancelled. Okay, and this is not, again, this is not my own stuff. right? It is again the same notification, 23rd July 2018, which is adopted by almost all the universities for that purpose. Okay, so that's why I said it is very serious. Now, what are the penalties when it comes to, you can say, the faculty members, right? Similarity up to 10%, minor similarities, no penalty. 10 to 40 shall be asked to withdraw the script. Okay. 40 to 60 shall be asked to withdraw the script, shall be denied right to one annual increment. See, we are going for promotion, selection, and whatnot, right? It may impact you adversely. Okay. So shall be denied right to one annual increment, shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any new master's, MPhil, or PhD student for a period of years. So how dangerous it is? Now it is 60% beyond. There are very many things, right? Shall be asked to withdraw the script, shall be denied right to 2 annual increment. Your increment will be withheld for a period of 2 years. Okay, shall not be allowed to be a supervisor. Okay, for a period of 3 years. So what I intend to say is the authorities are very serious about these particular issues, right? That's why we have to take up this particular thing very seriously. And that's why I've put all those stuff here for your information so that you can take these things a little bit seriously, right? Having said that, as I said, that is, we are through with, what should I say? That is, we have started with the integrity, then academic integrity, ethics, moral, and so on, right? And then certain, I should say, issues like scientific misconduct, wherein we have discussed various types of misconducts. Okay, plagiarism is one of them. Various types of plagiarism we have seen. And as I said in the beginning, that is the last but one topic is we are going to have some discussion on conflict of interest, which is, in short, it is called as a COI, right? So what is conflict of interest? It is it is it exists when there is a divergence between an individual's private interest or the competing interest and his or her responsibilities to scientific and publishing activities, right? So this COI, just like you have a form, what is called as the copyright form, on the parallel line, you have a form, what is called as a COI form. Okay. So you need to declare your conflict of interest there if there are any. Okay, wherein the research, particularly let's say in case of medical education, okay, wherein thousands of crores are being involved. Look at the scenario of COVID-19. Okay, you must have seen that it has led to crores of rupees. Okay, that vaccine which was tested. Okay, there were not, I will not say that the human trials were, directly the human trials were taken up. Okay, because we were not having times and so on. So we have compromised certain things over there. What I intend to speak about conflict of interest is, let's say I am the uh, managing editor of a particular journal, of a very high repute journal. Okay, I wish to publish my own paper in that journal. And if I submit that paper, there is every possibility that I will compromise. I will have reviewers as per my own wish. Okay. And if let's say that stuff is being, it got published, and later on, okay, my relationship with that particular journal, let's say even if I am not there, but let's say my student is there or my very close relative is working in that journal. Okay. If that kind of scenario is again there, that comes under the conflict of interest, right? So that should not happen. Okay, that's why you need to disclose these things in the beginning itself, and that is called as the COI form, right? Again, there are different types of conflict of interest. Okay, as I said, a clear statement of examples. There may be some financial ties. I may be involved. I am owning a particular pharma company. Okay, wherein I will get benefit out of the research which is being carried out somewhere else, right? So there may be some financial ties between academic commitments are again there. Personal relationship, as I said, maybe not necessarily blood relationship or a very close relative, something like that. But maybe let's say relationship in terms of teacher and student. That is again dangerous, right? Maybe I am having some political affiliations or religious belief that may lead to this kind of scenario. So all these comes under the conflict of interest, or maybe institutional affiliation, right? So all these things are called as the conflict of interest, and one should avoid, right? What is the mechanism for avoiding this? The mechanism is pretty simple. That is, you need to disclose those things in the beginning. Now, how do we disclose it? It is basically a simple form is there wherein you are supposed to declare the conflict of interest if there are any. So normally these disclosure forms, they they include clear statement on what is to be declared, when and to whom. So the time is very important. Let's say after publication, if I am saying no way around, right? So you will be caught red-handed, I should say. Format for declaration. So most of the reputed journals, they come up with different COI format. They have their own format, just like copyright form. Okay, wherein you are supposed to disclose certain things. They will ask you a set of questions, and you are supposed to declare all those things. A journal's role in asking additional question or seeking clarification about disclosures. Okay, there's no standard form. They may have their own consequences. What are the consequences? Let's say if you do not disclose your COIs for failing to disclose before or after publication. So before, what are the penalties? And let's say if it is found later on after publication, what are the penalties? So the penalties are again dangerous, I should say. You may be asked to retract your publication. You may be asked to write a written apology. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's why it is to be taken care of very seriously. Right now, how to manage different organizations? They manage it differently, I should say. Will not go into the details because I think we are left with around 20-25 minutes. Okay, so a clear statement on how the conflict of interest will be managed is basically the responsibility of the journal. Okay, so different journals, they deal with this particular aspect in their own way. There are no standard, what I intend to say. Right. There are certain organizations which are working. This is probably the last topic which we will deal with, right? So as I said, that is, there are certain organizations, NGOs, okay, those who are working in this area, that is publication ethics and so on. The very first organization is the COPE, which stands for the Committee on Publication Ethics, or in short, it is called as COPE, right? It was established in 1997, okay, and where it was established in UK with only 3 members, okay. But what has happened, okay, during last few decades, I'll say that it is 1997 to 2003, 90 members, 6 to 9, 3,000 plus members, now more than 12,500 members from 103 countries. Okay, so almost all the countries, they are the signatory on this scope ethics, right? And what is their tagline? Their tagline is promoting integrity in scholarly research and its publication. So they have beautiful 18 flowcharts for handling various issues, right? The those who want to dig this particular thing to a greater detail, they can very well visit this publicationethics.org is the URL, right? HTTPS publicationethics.org is the URL for that. So this is the very first, but it is very powerful committee, okay, or the organization responsible for dealing with issues with regard to publication, right? Or more specifically, publication ethics, right? Code of conduct, again, have a lot of things over there. We will not discuss all these things in detail, but there are various areas. Now, if you look at the, there are challenges, like if you want to champion the freedom of expression, okay, you should be given ample opportunity to express your thoughts, but with with a lot of responsibility, I should say, right? So maintain the integrity of the academic record. So this is what they do actually. COPE Code of Conduct, they have well documented all these aspects, okay, wherein what are the expectation from the journal editors, what are the expectation from the authors or the contributors, and what are the expectation from the publishing house or the companies, those who are running these journals and so on, right? Everything is clearly narrated over there, right? So this COPE Code of Conduct is there, Okay, these are the areas wherein, let's say, if I make certain complaint, you may say, sir, let's say if I feel that my stuff is being copied by somebody else, I may approach them. Okay, I may approach them along with the proof. Well, this is my publication. I have already reported this, and the same fellow is now. This happens, right? This is happening. Rather, it is happening with the jet speed, I should say. So, what are the allegation of misconduct? How to deal with the allegations? So, they have standard flowchart. So, your application will route through that flowchart, and accordingly, you will be informed about the decision. Okay. So, authorship and contributorship, complaints and appeals, conflict of interest or competing interest. Okay, journal management, post publication discussion and correction. Now, most of us, we feel that once the paper is published, that is the end of the story. Real research, that is the beginning. Okay, because it may happen, whatever paper I have written, somebody may come up with some discussion on that paper. Okay, he or she may suggest some corrections. Okay, well, sir, I have tested this particular aspect, but this is not like this. This is how it is, right? So that is again you have to comply with. So it is not the end; it is the beginning, right? It is the beginning, right? The another organization which is there in this domain is the WAME. Okay, so WAME, as you can see, World Association of Medical Editors. Okay, it was established in 1995. Again, they have all those WAME.org, those who wish to. There are 1900 members. These 1900 members, look at the number, right? So they again have ethics and professionalism. They have well documented all these aspects, right? WAME is there. WAME talks about global health and politics, maybe peer review process, how it should be ideally. Okay, what is the definition and issue, maybe how to manage factor. So how to deal with that, very much applicable in case of medical education, right? So it is mandatory for carrying out any kind of medical research to register doing so. Okay, you may be held responsible for that, right? So WAME again, authors, conflict of interest, all those things are there. Okay, these are the resources of WAME. Again, you can have a look at. You can have a look at, right? Then you have International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, ICMJE. So there are only 16 members as far as this committee is concerned. Okay, ICMJE has produced multiple edition of this document. They have come what they call it as the URMs. Okay, it has started where only 16 members are there. It is so powerful that deal of publication, that is what must, and so on. So every minute details is here when it comes to ICMG, right? So this was this sorry, those things, but it has started with a very small group of people and to just guiding just have like on the parallel line that is there. Okay. Uh, so this 2013, they have changed that URM name to Recommendation for the Conduct, Reporting, Editing, and Publishing of Scholarly Medical Work in Medical Journals. Right. And 14 to 17, they have some annual revision. They have adopted, they have changed their policy. Earlier, they used to make changes as per the need. Now, what they did is they have gone for annual revision because the changes are taking place with the jet speed, right? So this is again their roles and responsibilities. All those things are there. Again, you can bottom line if you can note it down. Okay, I say .org. You'll find all this stuff over there. You can explore things, and you can very well understand what are the various issues with regard to is all about. Right? So with this, I, I think uh, we will. This is all from my end. I thank all. Would love to answer. There are around 76 odd participants are there. I hope you are enjoying the session. Intentionally, I have kept 10-15 minutes, okay, in my hand. I would like to interact with you with regard to the particularly how the sessions are going on. What is your feedback? Okay, and if you feel like if you want that there should be any changes, okay, that again we will address all those issues. But before I move ahead, I would like to know whatever stuff I have covered, if there are any queries with regard to the topic which I have dealt with, okay, I would love to answer the very first thing. Any queries with whatever?
Uh,
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir,
Yes,
for your
yes,
lecture on the ethics, moralities, and the integrity. So I have one question, like if somebody want to submit a research paper in particular SCI journal, so
okay,
every SCI journal has their reviewing duration different compared to the whatever the publication house is that.
yes, yes, yes.
So if I'm submitting that paper to two different journal, whether it will be considered as a duplicate
Yes,
publication.
yes, it will be very much. Okay, that's why obviously, if whenever you go for submission, the very first thing they ask for is whether the same article has been submitted somewhere else and it is under consideration or not. Okay, so there are some check boxes, sir. So whenever you go for
Yeah,
most of
yeah,
the
yes, sir, yes, sir.
yes, yes. So there you
Yeah.
need to declare, and if you unfortunately declare that it is not under consideration, and
Hmm.
later on, let's say if it comes to their notice that it was under consideration there, so that comes under duplicate publication, sir.
Okay.
And yes,
But
yes.
still, if I want to get it published as early as possible, so like every human being will consider like it should get published as soon
I
as
got your
possible.
point, sir. This
Yeah.
is this is nothing new you are talking about, because there
Uh-huh.
are delays in publication. I very well know, but
Hmm.
ideally, I am saying ideally, okay, it may happen that let's say if it is somebody complains, okay, all these issues crop up as a matter of fact when somebody raised the issue. Okay, plagiarism. What is plagiarism? For example, you have published a paper, and I am claiming that the idea is he has published is my own idea. Okay, he has stolen my idea. Okay, and he is claiming as if this idea is her own or his own idea. So everything comes when somebody challenges it. है ना? As long as nobody challenges it, everything is okay. Okay, but I don't know, but you must have heard, you are from Nagpur, you people are from Nagpur only. You must have heard controversies with regard to publication, and those things were even addressed by the court of law, right? So many times, that's why I'm saying, I am cautioning you. My intention is not to hurt anybody's sentiment. Okay, and my intention is not to say that we all do all these kind of things. That is again not none of our business to say. But with due respect, I am saying, okay, uh, it's better, ideally it is better that you should avoid it. You should avoid it, because that comes under duplicate publication, you know. So many times we are very casual when ticking the check boxes. Okay, normally we many times we do not read even. Okay, we put a right whatever is expected, and we put a check box.
Yeah.
Okay, simply click on that and move ahead. But later on, if let's say if some issue arises, then these things become of prime importance, right? So we must take utmost care. That is my
Yeah.
suggestion. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Anybody else who wish to answer anything? Sorry, ask anything. So I've tried my level best to explain what was expected as far as the ethics are concerned. So ethics are very, I should say, important at the same time, very sensitive issue to deal with, right? So any other question from? Anybody else? There are around 78 or rather 77, 78 participants are there. Now we'll come to the next issue is what about the course? How it is going on? This 5 minutes I have intentionally kept for that particular purpose. So, are you happy with the, or you want certain changes, or there are any issues? Okay, that being a director, I am asking. Okay, not as a resource person, but if you have any issues, you can very well talk with your coordinator. Madam is there. I don't know whether she is there in the meeting right now, but you can very well talk to her. Okay, the Saturday, Sunday, we will have holiday. You can enjoy your Saturday, Sunday. We will not trouble you on Saturday, Sunday. Monday onwards, we will have sessions regularly from 2:30 to 5:30. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So this is all from my end. You have, yeah. Anybody who wish to ask anything? Or if you have any, you can unmute yourself. I don't think there is any problem in unmuting. Okay. So we'll start the next session within maybe 5-10 minutes. Okay. Your next resource person probably will join at sharp 1. Okay. Today we have to make certain changes. We were having some resource person problem. That's why we have gone for this. Yeah. So I hope that there are no more questions and no more. There is no issue as such as far as the course. How you are finding? I wanted to know the feedback actually from your end, positive or negative, both way it will do. Don't worry. Anybody who wish to give the feedback with regard to how the course is going on? There are two possibilities, I should say. Any one of you? The active speaker he has left. I think he was actively involved in the beginning. Okay. Any one of you, Pallavi, Madam, Pallavi Rokade or Praful Gadge or Priyanka Jagtap, Madam? Tell me. So we will break for 5-10 minutes, okay, or otherwise you can stay on, okay. Within 5-10 minutes, the next session will start with the next session. Okay, next session is basically on mentor-mentee, right? So yeah.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank you.
now we will stop now here and we'll continue for the next session. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Nidhi Arora, ma'am. Hello, Dr. Arora, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
If you could permit, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So just give me 1 minute so that I can share my screen. Then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can.
definitely, ma'am. Definitely. You can take your own time, ma'am.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Okay, it is visible, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sir. Yes, we can start, sir. No.
So, good afternoon, one and all, once again to this program. As earlier we have discussed that today's session we have split it into the two parts, and the first part we have completed with the help of the expert Professor Atik sir, and now we are going with the another part, and that is very crucial and important part in our teaching learning concept. While we are going to the assessment for the NAC, NBA, the basic concept of this mentor-mentee, we have know that, and basically we are face this issue in many time. So for conducting this session and enlighten us, today we have with us a very great and senior personality, Dr. Nidhi Arora, ma'am. Ma'am, warm welcome in behalf of the Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Babam Raut University, and Dr. Tushiram Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur, who is the joint organizer of this program. Friends, Professor Arora ma'am is a devotee teacher engaging in the independent research and teaching of both UG and the PG in the Department of Legal Studies as Manasthalia Vidyapit. That is a deemed to be university accredited by the NAC by A double plus grade. She has done his PhD in she has done in his PhD on the gender equality as a social economical studies. She has shared the session in the various conferences also. She has delivered n number of invited talk in various webinars, workshops, as well as the legal legal workshop, and in the national as well as the international webinar also. Right now she has also visited the foreign at the representative of her university in the 7th National Science Congress at Bhutan as well as the Sri Lanka. She was the research supervisor and under she was the research supervisor also, and under his able she has also published a number of research papers also in the reputed national as well as the international journal. She was the author of two books. Dr. Arora ma'am is a member of the board of studies at her university. She was also acted as a judge in the MOOC code competition organized by her parent university in other university. Though this is a brief introduction with regards to Dr. Arora ma'am. Friends, the concept of this mentor-mentee, you have know very well that this concept has been initiated with the number of pupil and the teacher ratio, and how should that should be demonstrated in the era of the digital technology. That should be demonstrated by ma'am here. So ma'am, again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with your session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Okay, so not wasting much time, we'll be starting with it. But before starting with it, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Atik sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my views on a topic which is basically a need for our, that is mentor-mentee system, and that is one of the sub theme within the ambit of student diversity and an inclusive education. So before starting with our main theme, we should know that what is NEP, right? So NEP was introduced in 2020 and is a comprehensive framework designed to guide the development of education in India, right? And basically this is a uniform guidelines or a policy because it is applicable from preschool to the higher education system, and the policy aims to transform the Indian educational landscape to make it more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, and very important, it is aligned to the needs of the 21st century. And aim to bring out the unique capabilities of each student. Because yes, we were having several other policies also before, but they were not applicable in an universal manner. That's why, and those were even not aligned with the need of 21st century. That's why there was need of this new education policy which came in 2020. Then, just wait a minute, I haven't changed the slide, sorry. Yes. So now there are certain key features of this particular policy. If we see, it talks about the focus on mother tongue. NEP recommends mother tongue or local language instructions until preferably grade 5, but if we can, then it should be till grade 8. Why? NEP is talking about the vernacular language or the mother tongue. That is why, but to ensure better understanding and retention of children, for children, right? That's why we have to focus on the mother tongue while teaching in class. Then technology integration. Before 2020, we all were well versed with the use of technology, but in a limited manner. That we were well versed at how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But now we have to integrate the technology in our teaching, so that because there's a huge diversity in the class, if we are going to incorporate or integrate technology into our teaching, definitely it is going to give a good impact. And including digital education, online teaching, digitally equipping schools, teacher and students, that is very important. And another feature is in respect to higher education reform. How? NEP proposes broad-based, multidisciplinary, holistic undergraduate education, where there will be a flexible curriculum, creative combination of subjects will be there, integration of vocational education will be there, which is not till now the vocational education is not a part of our curriculum, and multiple entry and exit points will be there, right? And there will be a flexibility in choice. How there will be a flexibility in choice? NEP has introduced a more flexible approach, which is allowing students to choose their learning path and subjects. And it is reducing the rigid separation between the academic stream, extracurricular, and vocational streams in school. And that's how flexibility is helping us. Then teacher training and education. The NEP advocates for robust training for teachers. If I'm talking about the technology integration, each and every teacher is not that well versed with the technology, right? So for that, we have to provide the teachers in respect to the technology. We have to provide the training to the teachers. We have to prepare the teacher to handle the new and inclusive curriculum. And it also aims to raise the standard of teacher education and training. And that's how we'll able to provide the sorry, quality education to all. Then assessment reforms. This policy aims to revamp the current assessment system in schools with a new form that encourages understanding and the application of knowledge. Basically, we have to focus on the aspect that we have to reduce the rote memorization. We have to make the students that they should know that whatever has been taught in the class, that where this knowledge will practically they can make it applicable, right? And we have to use the different forms of assignment while examining the students. Because of the diversity, we cannot opt for the same form of assessment for all these students. right? So it includes board exams with multiple attempts, holistic progress cards, AI-based assessments, right? Now, in India, the major problem is in respect to the funds, right? Whenever any authority asks us to start something new, the question is that we don't have funds, right? So for that, it proposes a setting up of gender inclusion funds and special education zones for disadvantaged regions and group. जो रूरल एरियाज हैं वहां के लिए स्पेशल एजुकेशन जोन्स स्टैब्लिश करे गए हैं टू प्रोवाइड देम द क्वालिटी एजुकेशन. Then, in respect to the policy, suggest a single overreaching umbrella. As I told you that it is a this policy is applicable in a universal manner, but still there are two streams where this policy is not applicable. That is medical and the legal education, because these two education sectors are governed by the different authority. Now, this was the NEP. That what is NEP? What are the features of NEP? Now, goal of NEP. What was the goal of NEP? First, inclusivity and the diversity. To ensure education is accessible to all segments of society, NEP emphasizes creating equitable learning opportunities. And this involves addressing the need of diverse population, including the marginalized and disadvantaged group. Being from the teaching fraternity, if you see that in each and every class, there is a huge diversity. And that diversity is on the basis of culture, caste, creed, color, sex, region, from where they are belonging, right? You will see different diversities in the class. Then, quality education for all. We have to elevate the quality of education across all levels. How? By revamping the curriculum, pedagogy, assessment method, and teacher training. Because if you see that right to an education is a fundamental right of each and every citizen. If you in Constitution, Part 3 of the Constitution, which talks about the fundamental right, it gives that right to each and every citizen. Even in Part 4 of the Constitution, which talks about directive principle of the state policy, where certain responsibilities have been imposed on the state to provide an education to each and every citizen. Then, universal access to education. And if we want to achieve 100% youth and adult literacy rate, it is not practically not possible at a immediate or a first instance to achieve that, right? But with the gradually moving towards in a right direction, we can achieve 100% youth and adult literacy rate. But how you will analyze that whether you are moving in a right direction or not? That can be analyzed with the help of dropout rates. If dropout rates means dropout rates of whom? Students have been reduced in your institution, means you are moving in a right direction. Then, promoting multilingualism. Encourage the teaching of children in their mother tongue or regional language, as it was the one of the key feature of the NEP, so that to enhance learning effectiveness and the cultural pride. Importance of NEP. When we talk about the importance, first is social equity. By making education inclusive and diverse, NEP aims to bridge the educational and social gap within Indian society. Means we are promoting social equity. But if you will see that in India, we say there is a huge diversity, unity in diversity, right? But if there's a huge diversity, you will see that there are certain classes which do not promote the education for the girl. So that means there's a huge gap between the education and social gaps, right? We have to bridge that gap. And that gap can only be bridged with the help of the promotion of social equity. Then economic growth. A diverse and inclusive education system prepares a skilled workforce, drives innovations when we talk about the startups, and support India's ambition to be a major global economy. With the economic growth, one question comes to my mind, that is whether it is a duty of any educational institution to provide an employment to the student. No, it is not a duty of any educational institution to provide an employment to a student, but there is a duty of educational institution to make a student employable so that they can get employment later on. And that's how we are contributing towards the economic growth. National cohesion, education that respects and incorporates diverse culture, linguistic, and regional identities, and that fosters the national unity and sense of belongingness among all sections of society. Then global competitiveness. As in starting, we have seen that this policy is aligned with the need of 21st century. So, by adopting the global practices in education and ensuring that all children can access high quality education regardless of their background, India enhances its competitiveness on the world stage. Right? Now, as there are two aspects, diversity and inclusivity. When we talk about the diversity, basically, what do we understand by the term diversity? Diversity in education basically encompasses a variety of dimensions, including cultural, language, socio-economic, racial, ethnic, religious, and gender differences among students, and that is diversity. Cultural diversity basically recognizes and respects unique culture background and traditions that students bring to the classroom. Linguistic diversity involves the presence of multiple languages and dialects among students, enriching the learning environment. Then socioeconomic diversity pertains to a student coming from varied economic backgrounds, influencing their experiences and perspective. Then diverse learning needs. It here diverse learning needs means there's a diversity in the class, and there's a different learning abilities and style of each and every student, right? So we have to opt a different methods to teach the student in the class, right? Basically, we have to consider this diversity as an asset, not as a barrier. If we are considering these diversities as a barrier, we'll not able to progress in any manner. Then there are certain benefits of diverse educational environment. As I told you that we are going to consider them as an asset. Means we have to see only pros, and that is the benefit. And how the diversity in the class can be used in a positive manner. For an example, enhance it is going to enhance the learning experiences. If there is a diversity, it will enhance your learning experience. How it will enhance your learning experience? There will be a rich classroom discussion. Diverse perspective lead to richer discussions, fostering a deeper understanding of the subject matter and promoting the critical thinking. Then, preparation for a global workforce. Students develop skill to work effectively and efficiently in increasingly globalized industry. They will get an exposure to diverse classmates, prepare students to adapt to varied work environment and personal. Then increase creativity and problem solving skills. They will start doing the brainstorming. So a blend of diverse view somehow leads to more creative and comprehensive solutions to problems. And when we talk about innovative thinking, interacting with people from different backgrounds stimulates out of the box thinking. And that will help the students in their startups also. Right? Now, visual and graphic suggestions, pie chart or bar graph, icons or images, quotes, testimonials. All these things can be included in your teaching. Then we we are going to consider diversity as a strength, emphasizing that embracing diversity is not just a necessity but a significant strength that enhance educational outcome and prepare student for a successful inclusive future. Then inclusive education. We have seen that what is diversity, on what all basis diversity can be there, and how we can consider the diversity as an asset and how it is going to benefit. So, when we talk about the inclusive education is an approach where every student, regardless of their background, abilities, or disabilities, is placed in age proportionate general education, and that are in their own neighborhood schools to receive high quality instructions. Basically, the concept of inclusive education is based on very simple principle, and that is the principle of acceptance and inclusion of all the students. And if there is an acceptance and inclusion of all these students, means students are seeing their differences as an asset, not as barrier to their success. So there are certain significance of inclusive education. If we see social justice, inclusive education is rooted in the right to education for all and advocating for equal opportunities for all students. This approach supports the dismantling of barriers to learning and participation. If there is a social justice, students will gradually they will able to combat their discriminations. Equality, by adopting the learning environment so that it responds to the diversity of students around them. Inclusive education upholds the value of equality among all, and it ensures that each student has an equal chance to succeed through customized teaching strategies, curriculum, assessment method, right? And even when it is a fundamental right, your fundamental right cannot be taken away by anyone on any ground. Then economic efficiency, educating students inclusively enhances their potential to become productive member of society. How productive member of society? Because if we have made them employable, they will get an employment in future, and which in turn contributes to our economic development. There is substantial evidence that inclusive education results in better social and economic outcome for all. Gradually we will reduce the dropout rates, there will be an increase in the employment rates, and fostering a more inclusive society. But that is only possible when you will able to make the students employable, when they will able to understand the practical importance of it. They will be aware about the fact that whatever has been taught in the class, how to make it practically applicable. right? If they are not, they are doing rote memorization, they are just cramming the things, then there will be a difficulty in getting an employment lead. Community impact. Inclusive education fosters a sense of community and belonging and helps to build social cohesion, and which is essential in a diverse society like India. हम इंडिया के लिए बोलते हैं there's a unity in diversity. It prepares all students for adult life in an inclusive society in which people from different backgrounds with different abilities live and work together. Because students are going to face different people at different stages of life. They are always going to face a diversity at each and every stage of life. So, after looking to the diversity, inclusivity, now the question comes to my mind, that is why inclusive education matters in NEP. Is there anyone who would like to answer this question after seeing that what is diversity, what is inclusivity? Why inclusive education matters in NEP? Is there anyone? Okay, let me tell you. Uh, Basically, there is an alignment with the global trends. What we have seen earlier. If you see the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which basically aims to ensure the inclusivity and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, and aligning with the global educational trends and sustainable development goal. That's why there's a need of inclusive education. Then there will be a long-term benefits. It recognizes that the foundation of a successful and just society lies in how it educates its children. By investing in inclusive educational practices, NEP basically aims to nurture a generation of individuals who are not only academically accomplished but are socially and ethically responsible. Right? And last, that they will able to see the diversity as an asset, not as a barrier to their success. Now, this was the one part of our session, that what is NEP, goal, importance, diversity, inclusivity. Now, in the another part of our session, we are going to talk about the mentor-mentee system. The role of mentorship in NEP's inclusive educational agenda. Basically, today we are going to focus specifically on supporting individual students, which is a critical component of the NEP that aims to personalize the education. And this approach recognizes that each student is unique and requires specific support to thrive academically and personally. Right? So, first is mentoring of students. Mentoring, how we can define the mentoring, is providing the academic guidance can be considered as the mentoring. See, it is mentoring is more than just academic guidance. It is about inspiring and supporting students to excel beyond the classroom walls, right? And when we are going to talk about mentor-mentee system in today's session, later on we'll explore how structured mentor-mentee system can be developed and implemented effectively within our school or higher education. Then building a rapport. We have to understand the dynamics of building strong, supportive relationship between mentor and mentee. If there's not a good rapport between the mentor and mentee, that relationship will not work effectively. Remedial teachings. We will discuss the approaches and benefits of remedial teachings, ensuring all students can achieve their potential regardless of their starting point. And very important that they should have a positive attitude. This positive attitude should be developed. And fostering a positive attitude is crucial for both, not only for mentee, even for the mentor to overcome the challenges and achieve the success. Now, role of mentoring in education. Basically, what is the role of mentoring in education? Why there is a need of mentoring in education? If I define mentoring, how we can define the mentoring? That to support the student, to solve the problem of the student will be considered as a mentoring? No. Mentoring in education basically refers to a supportive learning relation. It's called, if we try to understand in a layman language, it is like more experienced, more knowledgeable person will be considered as the mentor, and less knowledge experienced and less knowledgeable person will be considered as the mentee, right? And mentor provides guidance, share resources, and offer emotional and social support to facilitate. That's why mentoring is beyond the academic guidance. Somehow we are facilitating the personal and professional growth of the mentee. There can be a different forms of mentoring, right? Because now another question which comes to my mind, that who can be the mentor? That we have seen more experienced, more knowledgeable person can be the mentor. But whether teacher can only be a mentor? No. Mentor can be any person who falls within the category of more experienced and more knowledgeable. Peer mentoring can be there. Peer, in the case of peer mentoring, that can be done by the student of a same class plus any senior student, right? Then another is professional mentoring, right? So there are several faculty to student mentoring. So basically, mentoring is a versatile educational tool that plays a crucial role in nurturing these students' academic and personal growth. It involves guidance, support, and encouragement provided by a more knowledgeable and experienced person. And there are several forms of mentoring, and each and every form of mentoring will work in each and every nature. All forms of mentoring cannot be worked in all the problems. If we talk about the peer mentoring basically involves students mentoring each other, typically with the mentor being slightly older or more experienced student within the same institution. And this type of mentoring basically targets academic support. Peer mentor often helps with study skills, time management, understanding course material, right? And what are the other aspects where peer mentoring will work? Social integration. If new or younger student benefit from peer mentors in adapting to the school environment, which can be critical for their school and emotional adjustment. Then role modeling. Seeing peers succeed can be highly motivating for mentees, providing them with tangible examples of what they can achieve or what they can do, right? And how your peers have done that, it will boost their moral. Then faculty to student mentoring. This form of mentoring involves basically faculty members who are teachers, professors, and they are directly mentoring the students. And this falls within the category of formal mentoring, that is through structured programs. And What are the areas where faculty to student mentoring will work effectively? First of all, career guidance. Faculty mentors provide advice or academic pathways, career options, and further studies. Then, research opportunities. Many of us will be the mentor, whether for the research scholars or thesis work के लिए या for any research project, right? So particularly in higher education, faculty mentors guide students through thesis work, research project, dissertation work, and even in writing the paper and getting it publication. So there also faculty to student mentoring will work. Then personal development. Faculty mentor can offer support on personal development, helping students navigate challenges that may affect their academic life. So these are the certain targeted area where only the faculty to student mentoring will work. Then professional experts mentoring students. So how? Professional experts from various industries mentor students, right? Often through formal programs arranged by the education institution. These mentors are not typically from the staff, but they are the profession in the field of the students' area of study. हम vocational training की बात कर रहे हैं that now NEP has put a focus on the vocational trainings also. Right? So these professional expert mentoring will help the students in getting the employment later on, in getting the internship, in understanding the need of an art, that what is the need of the any particular industry, targeted industry, that what employer needs. So industry insights are very important. It offers a student a real world perspective on working in specific sectors, which is invaluable for career planning. Second, skill development. Even professional expert mentoring works for the skill development, focuses on the practical skills and knowledge that are directly applicable in the professional setting, or which is the basic requirement of that professional settings. Then networking connect students with professionals in the industry, which can lead to the internships, job opportunity, and career mentoring. So there are certain benefits of it. What are the benefit of this particular form of mentoring, that is the professional expert mentoring? It will expose student to current industry practices and trends. It will help them to bridge the gap between theoretical and theoretical knowledge, which is given by the teachers, plus practical applications, which can be given by the professional experts. Then enhance employment prospects by broadening professional networks. Right? Integration with educational goal can be there. All form of mentoring should align with the education institution's broader objective. Whether it is a peer mentoring, whether it is a faculty to student mentoring, or whether it is a professional expert mentoring, it should be very well aligned with the education institution's objective, such as involving student retention, enhancing employability, fostering a sense of community, and effective mentoring program are adaptable, reflecting the changing needs of students as they progress through their education pathways. So, what we can understand with it, that each form of mentoring serves distinct purpose and address different stages of a student education and personal development. Right? So, primary goal are to enhance the academic performance, increase retention and graduation rates, and develop competent, confident, and employable graduates. Now, importance of mentoring in promoting the inclusivity and diversity, because we have to focus on it. First is fostering a sense of belongingness. Mentoring helps students from diverse background feel valued and understood within the education community. They should not feel that they are getting discriminated on the basis of any of the factor: caste, color, creed, culture, sex, language, etc. And this is crucial for their active participation and integration. When there will be a sense of belongingness, there will be a sense of inclusivity, automatically the participation and the integration of the student will increase. Then, addressing unique challenges. Mentor can customize their support to address the specific culture, educational, or socio-economic changes faced by mentee. This personalized support is a key in leveling the playing field and helping all students achieve their potential. Because the potential of each and every student, the caliber of each and every student is different. Then, role modeling. Mentors serve as role model and provide a roadmap for navigating the academic environment, which can be particularly empowering for students from underrepresented or disadvantaged background also. And there are certain recommendations which are given by the NEP for mentorship program. Basically, what are those recommendations? If we see institutional framework, because who all are going to implement NEP? We teachers, we faculty members are only going to implement the NEP. Policy has already been drafted. Implication can be done by us. Now ball is in our court. So, NEP emphasizes the establishment of structured mentorship program within education institution to systematically support each and every student. This include integrating mentoring into the curriculum and providing training for mentors. Because if we say that each and every teacher can be a mentor, no, each and every teacher cannot be a mentor. If you say no, I'm solving a doubt of the student, that is a part of your duty. That if you are teaching any particular subject, you are solving a doubt of that particular subject, that is a part of your duty. Because of that, you cannot be considered as a mentor. Next is in respect to the recommendation given by NEP in respect to mentorship program, that is quality and accessibility. High quality mentorship should be accessible to all the students regardless of their background, right? That is in respect to the quality and accessibility. Special attention is given to ensure that marginalized and differently able students receive adequate mentoring support. They should not be felt left out. Then continuous evaluation and adaptation. If we say, fine, I have guided the student, I have heard his or her problem, we have discussed it, and that's it. No. Continuous evaluation or assessment is very important. Regular assessment of mentorship program to ensure that the program is working effectively and efficiently, and most importantly, that it is meeting the evolving need of student. If that program is not meeting the evolving need of student, means that relationship is not productive in any manner. And how you can analyze it, examine it, that is through the feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism should be implemented to adapt and refine mentoring practices. Then, building professional capacities. NEP basically encourages continuous professional development for mentors also, not only for mentee. How and why? That is to enhance the mentoring skills, understand the mentee's diverse background, stay updated with the latest educational practices and technology. And for that, we have to provide the training to the mentors. Basically, what all are you doing right now? You are attending the NEP, orientation and sensitization program. Why? Now, the basic reason behind is that why UGC made it mandatory for because we are going to implement it. If you are not well versed with the provisions of the NEP, there are different themes into it. You will not able to work in a right direction. That's why you are working, and then you are going to implement in your institution. Right? Now, how to establish a mentor-mentee system? First, there are certain key components for an effective mentor-mentee system. Right? What are those key components? First, structured framework. Now, how we can understand the structured framework? A, a well-defined structure that outlines the role and responsibilities of both mentor and mentee. If there is no clarity in the role and responsibility of the mentor and mentee, even there is no clear objective, no expected outcome, and what will be the duration of the mentorship program. If all these basic things are not clear in your framework, then that is not a structured framework, and you will not able to work in a right direction. So for that, we and even to not to have a chaos, we need a structured framework. Then matching process. Now we have a structured framework. Okay? Matching of what? Matching of mentor-mentee. Effective matching of mentor and mentee based on shared interest, career goals, or educational need to enhance the compatibility and the potential for successful outcome. So you have to match the mentor and mentee as per the need, because each and every category of mentor cannot serve a purpose in a universal manner. They have certain specification that those mentors have the capability to do the mentoring in certain specific areas or for the certain specific problems. Then training for mentors. As I have told you, each and every person cannot be a mentor. Solving the problem of any student cannot be considered as the uh, mentor. For that, we have to provide the professional training to the mentors, and that will be provided by the by an institution. So, providing a comprehensive training for mentors to equip them with necessary skills and knowledge to support mentees effectively. And this training should cover communication skills, sensitivity training, or you can say the method to identify and address the specific need of mentee, right? All these characteristics should be there within the mentee. Then continuous support and monitoring, regular check-ins and support from the institution to ensure that the mentor mentee relationship is productive. This includes providing the resources, facilitating feedback sessions, and monitoring progress through periodic assessments. Now, what are the steps to implement a mentor-mentee system in educational institution? First, as we have seen, that there should be a structured framework. So, first step is in respect to define the objective and scope. Establish clear goals for the mentorship program align with the educational objectives of the institution. You cannot ignore the educational objective of the institution if you are working for the mentorship program, right? Determine the scope, including which student group will be targeted and what outcomes are expected. Second step will be develop of mentor pool. Now, what is mentor pool? If we try to understand the pool in a layman language, it means the list, collection of the names of mentor. You have to identify potential mentors, and those mentor can be from faculty, alumni, senior students, professional experts, right? And ensure a diverse mentor pool to cater to the varied need of mentees. Because for each and every problem, you need a different kind of mentor, different category of mentor. Then match mentor and mentee. Use a systematic approach to match mentor and mentee. How you are going to match the mentor and mentee? You have to identify the criteria to ensure compatibility and maximize the impact of mentoring. That what is the need of mentee? Then officially start the mentorship program. But in an always keep in mind that in an introductory session, you should not judge the mentee on their problem, right? Allow mentor and mentee to meet and set initial expectation. At that time, you should be very good listener. Then mentor and evaluate. Regularly monitor the progress of the mentor-mentee relationship and evaluate the impact of the program. Adjust the program as necessary based on the feedback and outcome. And if the need arises, you can change the mentor. If the object goal of both mentor and mentee is not same, which is the major challenge, right? Then there is a need to change the mentor. Sorry. Next, challenges in setting up a mentor-mentee system. Right? When we talk about the challenges, because whenever we are going to start something new, right, there are certain challenges and solutions. There are certain challenges, and we need a solution for that. First challenge is in respect to ensuring commitment. Mentor and mentee have a different level of commitments. As we say that mentor is more knowledgeable, more experienced person, then he may have a different expectations. So for that, what is the solution? We have to set clear expectations and formal agreements to ensure sustained engagement. Provide recognition, incentives for active participation. If there's no recognition, no incentives, then mentor is not going to participate actively. Second is matching challenge. Difficulty in matching mentor and mentees effectively can lead to unproductive relationship. And use a comprehensive matching process that consider multiple factors. Now, what all factors can be there? Interest, career goal, and personalities, etc. There can be many more as per the requirement, and allow for rematching if the initial pairing is not successful. नेक्स्ट इज रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट, जो हमारे इंडिया की सबसे मेजर प्रॉब्लम है. Majority of time we see that we always face a problem of funds, resources. If you recall our first slide where we have talked about technology integration, why NEP focus on the technology integration? Because NEP is well versed with this particular problem, that resource constraints will always be a major problem. in India. Even after having resources, then also we are going to say that we don't have funds, we don't have resources. For if there are limited resources can affect the quality and reach of mentorship program, for that there is a very good solution. Leverage technology to facilitate virtual mentorship sessions and seek participation with industry professionals, alumni, and expand the mentor pool without significant financial investment. Then the problem of resource constraint can be resolved. Then measuring impact. Difficulty in assessing the effectiveness of the mentorship program, that whether the mentorship program is working in a right direction or not, how you are going to measure. So for that you have to develop clear metrics and regular evaluation intervals to measure the progress and impact of that mentorship program. How? By the feedback of both mentor and mentee, to continually refine the program. But always keep in mind, whenever you are taking a feedback from both mentor and mentee to refine the program, you, so you have to take the feedback uh, in different forms, or in a different mode. You cannot take in a same mode. So, by addressing these components and challenges, education institution can effectively implement a mentor-mentee system which supports the individual development of students, fostering an environment of growth and learning that aligns with the goal of the national education policy. Then building mentor-mentee rapport. As we have already seen earlier, that to have a good rapport between the mentor and mentee is very important. Right? If there is no good rapport between the mentor and mentee, that because this particular relationship is based on the fiduciary relationship. Now, what is the fiduciary relationship? Fiduciary relationship is based on the trust. If mentee is having a trust on the mentor, then only mentee is going to discuss each and every problem with the mentee. Oh, sorry, mentor. So that is only possible when the rapport between both are good. So here rapport between mentor and mentee basically refers to a positive, trusting relationship that facilitates open communication and enhance the mutual understanding between them. And establishing strong rapport is very crucial for the effectiveness of any mentoring relationship. It helps in providing personalized support and foster a safe environment where mentee feel encouraged to express their concerns and aspirations. If there is no fiduciary relationship between the mentor and mentee, you will not able to attain the objective or a goal of that particular mentorship program. Right? But there are certain techniques and strategies to build strong rapport. What are those strategies or techniques to build a strong rapport? First is active listening. Mentors should practice active listening, showing genuine interest in the mentee's thoughts and feelings. If there is a no inclusivity between the mentor and mentee, then you cannot achieve that will not work, cannot achieve any objective or a goal. This involves not just hearing the words. If you say no, I am hearing the problem of that particular mentee, means I am the active listening listener. No, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. Right? For an example, if you take an example, right now, what you are doing, you are listening to me, and definitely you will say that I'm an active listener. No, that will not work until and unless you will understand that what I am going to what I am explaining and why, what is the need of it. If you are making it practical applicable, then you can say that there is an active listening. Then empathy. Demonstrating empathy involves understanding and sharing the feeling of another person. And if there is an empathy, definitely it will help in building a deeper connection and a trust. Then consistency. Regular and predictable meetings help establish reliability and structure. How? As I told you that there should be a consistency, or you can say there should be a continuity in the assessment. If there is a continuity in the assessment, there is a consistency in the working, definitely that will build a good trust and rapport. Then personalized interaction. Customize the mentoring approach to fit the unique needs. If you think that you have a one form of mentoring approach and that will fit to each and every different problem of the mentees, no. You have to customize your own approach to make it fit to the unique needs and the personality of the mentee. And this might involve adjusting communication style, feedback method, and the pace of mentoring session. Then setting mutual goals. Mutual goal means you have to work together. Mentor and mentee has to work together to set and achievable goals. And this collaborative process empowers the mentee and aligns both parties on common objective. Positive reinforcement. How there will be a positive reinforcement? If being a mentor, you are going to encourage or you are going to celebrate the small success of mentee to build confidence and motivation in them. That is positive reinforcement. Even positive reinforcement works for you all also. How? If you have achieved something, if someone is going to recognize it, someone is going to celebrate it will build your confidence, it will motivate to work you more in that direction. So positive reinforcement is works, basically it works for each and every person, even for me. It is nothing new in it. Then you can opt for certain role plays and interactive examples. How? For an example, scenario demonstration. Briefly role play scenarios demonstrating both poor and strong mentor-mentee interactions. For an example, a mentee is struggling with a specific subject. Show two constructing role plays. One where the mentor is dismissive versus one where the mentor use active listening and empathy. Right? Then interactive activities should be there. Allow participants to pair up and practice establishing rapport through a guided activity such as discussing how to overcome a common academic or personal challenges. All these things can be opted. Now, what is the impact of good rapport on the student outcome? If there is a good rapport between the mentor and mentee, then what kind of impact will be there on the student's outcome? Automatically, academic improvement will be there. So, students with mentors who they feel close to are more likely to perform well academically due to personalized guidance and increased motivation. Then, emotional and social benefit. Strong rapport can lead to greater emotional stability, reduce anxiety, and better ability to cope with academic and social pressures. Third, there will be a long-term relationship. This mentor-mentee relationship can even last beyond the education setting. provide ongoing professional and personal support, right? Then case study. Briefly discuss a case study where improved mentor-mentee repo leads to significant changes in student behavior and academic outcome. And that will emphasize the transformational power of effective mentoring. So, by focusing on these key areas, we have seen a comprehensive overview of how building strong mentor-mentee repo can substantially enhance the mentoring experiences, and that mentoring experiences will lead to better educational and professional outcomes for students. Then there's a remedial teaching methods. When we talk about remedial teaching methods, first of all, what is the remedial teaching? Then we'll talk about the methods, that what are the strategies. See, there are two things: what student know and what they are expected to know. And there's a huge gap between these two aspects: what student know and what they are expected to know. And when this gap is closed by the instructional programs, that is known as remedial teaching. It focuses on providing additional support to help students who are struggling to meet standard academic levels in various subjects. Remedial teaching approach is particularly important in diverse classrooms where students may have disparity in educational background, learning disabilities, or other challenges that affect the learning progress. And this is generally in all the classes. You will see the diversity in each and every class. No class is free from any kind of diversity. So, remedial teaching ensures that all students have access to the resources and support they need to succeed academically, because they are facing some problem into it, and thereby promoting equity within the education system. If you are opting for the remedial teaching strategies, definitely you are promoting the equity within the educational system. So there are certain remedial teaching methods. Now, what are those remedial teaching methods? First is diagnostic problem. Basically, diagnostic teaching. What you do when you go to doctor? What doctor do? First, he will diagnose your problem and then he is going to treat you. Now, so diagnostic teaching will one of the remedial teaching method, and it will work here also. How? Begins with identifying specific learning gap and the difficulties. Means you have diagnosed the problem. But how you are going to identify the specific learning gap and difficulties? How? We have only one option. That is use assessment method or assessment to determine individual student need and then customize their instructional approaches accordingly. I will just give you a small suggestion that whenever you give a assessment in the class, right? You internal. I'm talking about internal assessment. Try to give a different forms of internal assessment. For an example, if there's one internal assessment, you have given to each and every student that write a research paper on whatever topic you want. Now, you are going to assess the whole class on that particular form of assessment, right? Do you think it is justified? No. Because when we are talking about diversity on the basis of learning need is also there, right? So when we are talking about the diversity, we cannot judge the whole class on the same form of assessment. Why? Because some may have a good writing skills, some may have a good research skill, some may have a good presentation skills, some may have a good creative skills that they can make a good chart. So for that, you just flow or different forms. You just give that if anyone wants to make chart, if anyone wants to write research paper, PowerPoint presentation, or oral presentation in the class, just give a different forms of an assessment and try to and keep them open, that whatever form you want you can opt, and then judge the students on it. Then you can say that you have done the justice. Then other remedial teaching method is differentiated instruction. That is one of the same what I have told you right now. That teacher create varied paths to learning so that each student can learn in the manner that suits them best. You have given the varied assignments, right? Now they will choose. Then use of technology. See, audio visual form will always work more effectively and efficiently. See, there are two things. You are explaining something in class in an oral form, just giving your lecture. Then it will be not that effective. If you are using Blackboard, you are describing something with the diagrammatic representation or with the use of technology, right? There are some online resources available. You are opting for some online resources. You are making your own PPT. Then incorporating educational technologies such as interactive software, online resources, and that reinforce learning content, and even that will keep student engaged in new way. Technology can offer the personalized learning experiences essential for remedial education, because there will be a huge impact if you are trying to explain something in the audiovisual form. Always try to explain the student with the help of diagrammatic representations. If you want to explain some concept, try to make some diagram on the chart and explain with the help of that diagram. It will have a good impact. Peer tutoring. Involve pairing or grouping students together for tutoring sessions. And this method leverages peer interaction to assist underperforming students while reinforcing the tutor's mastery of the subject. But always keep in mind, when you are making a group of the student for tutoring session or for any particular group task, you have to keep in mind that particular group should be formed by the teacher, not by the student, and that group consists of extra outstanding student, average student, or below average student, right? All categories of students should be in that one group. Then that group will work in an effective manner. Then peer tutoring will work here. They will learn something from the outstanding or a brilliant student. Conducts sessions with small group of students. Allow for more direct interaction and personalized feedback. Don't make so big group. 3 to 4 students are sufficient in each group. And then personalized feedback from the teacher should be given to each and every student. And this setting can be less intimidating, more supportive for students who need the extra help. Once you have diagnosed the problem, and then you can opt for the small group session to resolve that particular problem. I will just take an example to understand it. If there is some urban public school, right, and we have diagnosed the problem. Now what is the problem here? The problem is that high percentage of students performing below grade level in economics, right? We have understood the problem, that high percentage of students performing below grade level in economics. Fine. Now what we can do? Now we have to find some remedial teaching practice. We have to introduce a comprehensive after school remedial program, which should feature the diagnostic assessment, technology assisted learning modules, And once you have opted for this particular form of remedial teaching practice, you will see that there gradually within one academic year, there is increased that has increased the student confidence, and higher engagement levels are there. Right? So we can opt for such kind of remedial teaching strategies. Now, fostering positive attitudinal development. Now, what is positive attitudinal development? The positive attitudinal development means, in very layman language, that you are considering your failure as a ladder for the success. Right? That is a positive that we have learned something. So there are certain importance of positive attitudinal development in education success. What is the first foundation for learning? A positive attitude is crucial in education because it enhances motivation, encouragement, engagement, and persistence, which are essential for academic success. And students with a positive attitude are more likely to face the challenges easily, persist in the face of difficulties, and view their failures as an opportunity to learn. Then, emotional and psychological health. Positive attitude contributes to better stress management, low rate of depression, or you can say overall better mental health will be there, which can significantly affect a student's ability to perform academically. If there is no positive attitude is there, then automatically that student is going to consider the failure as the biggest problem, and they will have a depression, anxiety, all the problems, and that will automatically affect their academic performance. Then developing a positive attitude during school years will definitely set the groundwork for lifelong success, and it will have a long term impact because students are going to face a problem at each and every phase of their life, and they should have an ability to adapt to changes. Then only they will able to succeed. Then there are certain strategies for mentor to cultivate positivity and resilience in students. We have seen that there are that positive attitude work in a very productive manner. There's a huge importance of it. But how to incorporate that among the students? That is very important. First, modeling positive behavior. Mentor can lead by example by demonstrating a positive outlook, resilience in overcoming personal challenges, and a persistent efforts towards goal. And that will provide a role model for student. That, for an example, if X person has faced some major problems and then also he has succeeded, he has taken his problems as an opportunity to learn, those incident real life examples, if there are real life examples, that can be shown. Then encouragement and recognition, that is very important. Regularly recognize students efforts and achievement, no matter how small the effort or achievement is. Reinforce positive behavior, and that will boost the self-esteem. And always keep in mind that encouragement should focus on what? It should focus on the effort and growth, not on outcomes. If we'll focus on the outcome, we'll not able to achieve anything. Then building a growth mindset. Teach student to have a growth mindset by emphasizing that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, learning, and persistence. And very important thing, challenge negative self-talk and reframe setbacks as learning opportunities. Then resilience training workshops. implement programs and workshops that teach resilience skills, which include stress management, goal setting, and handling failure. Such skills help students manage their academic and personal challenges effectively. And such kind of training should be given to students from school to higher education both. Then next is interactive decision on real life scenario where positive attitude impacted student achievement. For example, we can opt for the case study, group discussion, sharing session, right? And this will effectively convey the importance of fostering a positive attitude in students, producing practical strategies that mentor and educators can use to support their students' emotional and academic growth. And this focus not only aligns with the NEP goal for inclusivity and diversity, but also ensures an holistic approach to education because NEP is focusing on the holistic development also, and that address both cognitive and emotional development among the students. Now, integrating mentoring. Now, when questions come in respect to the integrating the mentoring, how? Because we don't have much time. We have a limited time, particular period 9 to 5 till the student is there in the educational institution. In schools, they are 8 to 3, 8 to 2, right? So we have that limited period of time, and how we can integrate the mentoring into our daily routine, that is very important. So, basically, when we talk about integration of the mentoring, it highlights practical ways to integrate mentoring effectively into daily or weekly school routine or a college routine to support individual student development. Right? Because mentoring as a part of educational framework helps personalize education, addressing the specific needs, challenges, and aspiration of each student. So there are certain, I will just share my point of view. There are certain practical tips for integrating mentoring in our daily routine. First, schedule mentor hours. How we'll define the mentor hours? Designated specific time during the school week as mentor hour, and always keep in mind that during the mentor hour student can meet their mentor, but mentor hour should be less intensive period. Now what period can be considered as a less intensive period? It means after lunch or the last period of the day, to discuss academic progress, personal challenges, and future goals. Next, what we can do, embed mentoring in classroom activities, role model invitations, role model activities where peer mentoring can be there. You can opt for it. Regularly invite role model from professions to speak in classroom, linking those sessions with career guidance and real world application of learning. It will work. There's no need of extra time for it. Then peer mentoring, implement a peer mentoring system where older students, senior mentor younger ones, promoting leadership skills, supportive school culture. This can be done not on the regular basis, but once in a week or 50, in a 15 in a once in a 15 days, right? Then mentorship across curriculum. Then project-based learning can be there. Use projects that require mentorship roles where mentors help or guide the mentee in doing their research or execution phase, right? And always encourage mentor to help students link concept across different subjects. It means interdisciplinary project should be given. If we are giving an interdisciplinary project, how it is working for us, it will work in a productive manner because it will enhance the integrative thinking and a learning. brainstorming will be done by the student, and that is very important. If that student is doing the brainstorming, automatically he will not do the rote memorization. He will try to understand the concept and make it applicable. Then regular progress review. Structured feedback should be there. Mentors provide structured feedback on both academic and extracurricular activities, helping students reflect on their learning and the professional growth. Right? Goal setting sessions can be there, regular session to set short-term and long-term goals with mentor, and adjust those short-term and long-term goals plan based on student progress and take feedback on it. Group activities can be given, right? And feedback session on proposed plan is very important. Allow each group a few minutes to present their plan to the entire assembly. Then encourage participants to offer constructive feedback on each plan, focusing on feasibility, creativity, and comprehensiveness. And very important, when we talk about refinement, discuss how the plans could be adjusted and improved based on the feedback received. Then the aspect of inclusivity will be there even in the feedback session on the proposed plan. Right? So this is all from my side, that what is a mentor and mentee system within the student diversity and an inclusive education. Or isko, if we'll try to summarize it in one line, that is, we have talked about making a mentoring program successful within the school activities. We have emphasized the regular engagement, structured feedback, and the personal development of students. And one very important call to action is encourage educators to take these ideas back to their school or the university. As I have told you that we faculties are only the implementers of the NEP. So we have to encourage the educators to take these ideas to their institution, adapt them to their specific context, and implement them to see the benefit of the integrated mentoring. Thank you. Any questions? Is there any questions? Okay, then you can also leave now because as the sir is busy in some meeting. So today's session is over.
Thank you, ma'am.